It is, we just left convention, as I mentioned before, and D. Gary Young, who is the naturopathic physician who founded Young Living Essential Oils, has been on a sojourn for the past 15 years. A lot of his sojourn has to do with his healing himself. And he'll tell you in a minute, me and my family are guinea pigs. Everything you all use, I use on my family. He'll tell you in a second. But more recently, he's been focusing on frankincense because everybody in the marketplace used to say, oh, this is frankincense from Oman, frankincense from Oman. Well, that was because frankincense from Oman, especially for the locals, was known to be extremely effective, reserved for the very wealthy, reserved for the Saudi elite, and really the general population did not get Omani frankincense. Omani, quote unquote, marketplace Omani frankincense was actually brought in from other areas, like Africa or islands off of Africa or islands between Africa and Saudi Arabia. Anyway, Dr. Young traveled through this area and actually checked all this out. And now, in this last convention, after 2-3 years of working with the Saudi government, working with the Omani government, he was able to build a distillery there in Oman, and he was able to get the right to distill sacred frankincense, which is Boswellia sacra, which is the highest kind of frankincense that's available. Now let's look at what frankincense can do for us by the book, because I can tell you that it does wonders, but I want to share with you what the book says. Okay, this is one of our brochures about it, and we also use our essential oils desk reference. But I'm going to give you this short version because this is adapted from that. I didn't see the larger one, but maybe you want to answer that for me. Thank you. Okay, so now frankincense is wonderful for the skin. 1 or 2 drops helps soothe scarring and stretch marks, and it reduces itching and swelling of bug bites, and it's used to enrich prayer and meditation, and it can be used on to remove gum, glue, or tough adhesives from your skin or from household surfaces, and it can repair sun damage on your neck and your face, and help renew healthy looking skin. And you can massage several drops on your temples or the back of your neck for stress relief. You could also swallow some frankincense in a capsule. Now, don't do this at home. Don't do this with frankincense that you may have bought at the health food store, because I cannot vouch for the quality of that particular product. I can vouch for the quality of this particular frankincense. And that's, I'm describing any frankincense, but the sacred frankincense I mentioned earlier was really like our newest product, our newest frankincense version. And just like we have 2 lavenders, now we have 2 frankincenses. And the sacred one is just off the hook. The people traditionally use it to fumigate their clothes, to fumigate their homes, and to feed themselves. They chew on the gum resin. And, you know, it really can be just a wonderful addition to your home and your medicine cabinet. You can use frankincense on your face to minimize oil production and breakouts. Okay, you could rub it on the feet or the back or the neck of back of the neck to soothe overactive children. So that's some of the things that frankincense is good for, and everyone knows that frankincense was given as a gift to the Christ child. We all know that. So that means that that's another way we know that it was extremely important, very spiritual oil that immediately connects you to the higher, more deeper levels of your own psyche. Immediately puts you, you know, centers you one-on-one and aligns you with what your universal good and your universal understanding. So that is just wonderful. We say in a short form of saying it, it's elevating to the mind, okay? It's elevating to the mind. It's useful for visualizing, improving one's spiritual connection, and centering. And it also has comforting properties that help focus the mind and overcome stress and despair. So, like I said before, it's used in ingredients. It's an ingredient for aging and dry skin. That was the more specific way that it can be used for skin. All right, so that's frankincense, and that's the oil of the day, because as I said, at the convention, Sacred Frankincense is a new product from Young Living Oils. And we also got, I don't think I have them with me though, we also got the resin to share, the frankincense resin, but I don't have any to share right now in front of me, so maybe later on we can get to that. Now, let's just make sure we're going through our checklist. Now, thieves, I want to share with you a little bit about thieves. And these are oils, by the way, that are in our 9 essential oils for everyday home, our everyday oil kit, okay? So, that is what I'm doing. I'm going through that kit, and I'm gonna be quicker now than I have been. But, you know, I have millions of stories about each oil. So, thieves is an oil that is based on the fact that there were robbing spice merchants. Well, let me just tell the story the right way. During the plague in the 14th and 15th centuries, people were literally dying on the street, and with their monies, you know, in their pockets, and people would come around, bad people would come around, and steal from them without getting the plague, without contracting the plague. And when they were caught, these individuals, the judge said to them, in order to save your neck, you're going to have to tell us, or reduce your sentence, you're going to have to tell us how you were able to, you know, steal from people and not contract the plague. And they told them these stories about how they were spice merchants, and the concoction that they used became known as the 4 thieves vinegar, because it was 4 people that they caught. And there were a variety of substances used in 4 thieves vinegar, but we have, from Gary Young's research, distilled, or in other words, gotten the essential oils from those 4, and they are clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, and eucalyptus leaf, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary leaf. And so those are 5 ingredients in the Thieves line, and the Thieves line has been shown to kill 99% of airborne bacteria. It's been tested by university research, and there's an entire line of Thieves products in the Young Living arsenal of products, so that your whole house can be cleaned. You can diffuse it in the air and reduce bacteria that you may be breathing in. You can use it. You can use our cleaner made with Thieves to clean the floor. You can wash windows with it. You can wash dishes with it. You can put it, you know, we have Thieves soap for your body. I use Thieves in my hair because I was breaking out, and I use it as my soap because the soap is wonderful. Your hands feel just wonderful after you use the soap. We have Thieves lip balm. We have Thieves waterless hand purifier, which is excellent and not comprised of a lot of chemicals. There are chemicals in it, but trust me, these are the kinds of chemicals that would not have a lingering deleterious effect on your body or on the earth. And so that is Thieves, and that also comes in our Young Living essential oil kit. So I'll just pass that around. It's very strong. It's rather caustic. It has clove in it. Clove can be caustic, so I'm not going to you know, share a drop. If you wanna drop, I'll share it. But for now, just know you smell the cinnamon in it, and the clove is very, very strong. It's a wonderful, wonderful product. We also have drops made out of it, gum drops or something, and so. All right, so those are the first 2 that I wanted to. Oh yes, I wanted to share a brochure with you about Thieves. Let's see if I have a brochure so you can, if there's more about Thieves I may be missing. Have a seat, come in. Well, who knows? Maybe I don't have a brochure about Thieves. Okay, so anyhow, well, now you have to know that oils are the lifeblood of the plant. That is exactly what they are. They are, as we said before, nature's living energy. And what you get when you get plant oil is that which repairs the plant, that which protects the plant, that which gives nutrients to the plant. There are many things that the oils, many functions that the oils have in a plant, and we're learning about that in clinical aromatherapy. But the main thing that we know for us as human beings is that the plant substance that is most remarkable in its properties for the plant and what it does for the plant is very similar to human blood. So that is amazing. I mean, chemists can see that. I can't break it down for you, but it is easy to see if you're into chemistry. And the oils are primarily hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. And sometimes there's some other aspects in there, but primarily those three. And they're just wonderful combinations of them. And so an oil such as peppermint, you know, is just a wonderful oil for doing many, many, many things. We're gonna, you know, pass some of this around. It may be a little hot too, but put some at your temples if you want to open up your head a little bit. Put some at the back of your neck, you know. Put some on your shoulders if you're stressed on your shoulders. Just take one drop, but it's very strong, very strong. Be careful that you don't get it near your eyes. What we find is that, oh yes, wherever it's hurting, we use peppermint to relax our stiff or sore muscles. I use something like peppermint. I use peppermint and other oils that are similar, like rosemary, before and after exercise, because it kind of gets you geared into going into using your body in a certain way. And then after you're finished with all that energy and that heat that your body's generated, the peppermint is very cooling. And of course, you can make peppermint tea from the peppermint. You only need one drop. When you make 2 or 3 drops, all of a sudden your whole mouth up here is filled with peppermint, and it's like you got to walk around like this. So sometimes you can have too much of these things. They're very, very strong, these oils, you know, and so we really have a wonderful toolkit in the 9 essential oils, you know, for every home, the essential everyday oil kit. And so that's the third piece. Now, I just wanted to also tell you where we get some of these. Now, peppermint, I'm not sure if peppermint is grown on the farms that Young Living has. Young Living has 4 or 5 farms now. We have farms in Idaho where we grow lavender. We grow St. Mary's lavender there. And we have farm in Mona, Utah, where we were at the convention. And mostly the lavender is grown there, but also the wonderful German chamomile we all had a chance to experience walking through the fields and actually feeling like we were, you know, the Wizard of Oz walking through the poppies. I mean, it was so very relaxing. I actually have some of those stalks. I just grabbed some Roman chamomile just to smell it, and it still smelled very strong even after I got back to the hotel room and got back here. And so the other farms are in France, and then there's farms in Ecuador. And we distill, however, in many other places of the world in addition to these places, like the one in Oman that we just started. And in Ecuador, we've just been honored to be invited, the Young Living company that I've adopted as my own, as you can see. I'm talking about we. The company has been invited, Gary Young himself has been invited to come to Peru to build a school there for the children, to start, you know, doing his research there into the oils. There's like hundreds of plant substances that have not been identified, you know, in these areas. One of them in Ecuador is something called Dorado Azul. Dorado, I couldn't pronounce it for a minute. Dorado Azul, which is gold and blue. He just decided to make up this word, which means glad to have you. So, so we have 4 farms. That's where we get most of our. Plus, we distill all around the world. Plus, we do import a lot of oils, a lot of plant substances that we distill into oil. Let me be clear about it. And you have to know that of all the different products with certain constituencies and certain parameters that must be met in terms of chemical constituencies, we only accept 25% of what's generated. So that means 75% of the wholesalers who come to Young Living trying to sell us their plants, Dr. Young says no, it's not up to stuff, and sends it back. And so we've really done put the world of aromatherapy and the world of plant production and oil producers on notice that the standard is now Young Living therapeutic grade, not just any therapeutic grade. And that's a term, in fact, that Young Living generated itself. Because before that, there was something called AFNOR, which the letters don't line up because it's um, a French system of um, identifying the constituents in certain plants. And really the way that AFNOR began was for the perfume industry and the food industry. So you really didn't get much of a focus on therapeutic uses. However, there are 2 or 3 methods of using the oils, and there's the English model, and there's a French model, and then there's a German model. And the English model, I should start with the French model, let me do that. The whole thing began when René Gattefossé is a chemist who was already using the oils. I mean, everybody's been using these oils for a while now. It's only in the last 50 years that we've been using drugs from Merck. Okay, so typically we were using, people were using oils and oil-like substances and tinctures and what have you, and salves. But anyway, René Gattefossé, about 100 years ago, burned his hand in his chemistry lab. And then he burned his hand and arms, actually, both of them. And then he stuck his hand and up to his arm in lavender oil. And then it healed rather quickly. And because of the speed at which it healed, he was like, okay, I see something here. And he began to do more study in that direction. And then another gentleman, Jean Valnet, took Gattefossé's findings and was able to apply it to World War I survivors and people on the battlefield and what have you. And also he used it in some, I think, mental wards and hospitals. And it was found that the oils were actually helping people to recover mentally as well as physically, healing wounds faster. And it really took off from Valnet's work using the oils in the field. And then there was a woman named, her name just escapes my brain, but it may come back. But she had met Valnet, and she came to England. She wasn't English, she had been in France, and she came back to England and began promoting the use of oils in cosmetics for beauty, and also for massage. And that became the dilution perspective. So the English model really focuses on diluted oils. They always dilute their oils. They say never put any oils internally, never ingest oils. Whereas the French model is more of a medical model. They say, yes, you can ingest them, but the model that they look at and how they do everything has to do with what's indicated, by the allopathic system of diagnosis. And then they use the oils as one would use aspirin or streptomycin or antibiotics. They use the oils to do those same kinds of functions. So it's not really a preventive model. Now the Germans, however, have stepped up to the plate and combined those two and do more of the aroma aspect. So they really expanded the diffusion piece. They expanded, using both the dilution model and the allopathic, more medical-oriented model of the French, and they felt that they could get the best out of the oils by smelling them, because that is the way you get them firsthand. Okay, and so they began to really explore and expound on that, and there's been a lot of research by all three, Germans, French, and British. Okay, so that is where the oils come from, and that's what we know about them in terms of how